Hello again, everybody. It's Patrick. It's after work. About 3:22 in the afternoon. Today did not quite go as planned, which I guess is nothing new to anybody who works in the healthcare profession. I was supposed to do my first presentation of the pain and symptom management in service today. Getting ready for the core course. I guess one of the nursing homes had signed up for an in-service. And I was on my way there, and I got a phone call from the receptionist at my office, and I could barely hear because my GPS was going, and I was on the highway, and I was like, "What? What are you saying?" And she said, "The in-service is canceled," and this is like right as I'm pulling up to the in-service. So I turn around and go back. So I called the community liaison on her cell phone, who had gotten there ahead of me. And she had said, well, I got there and I was sitting in this woman's office, and she said, I remember that we had talked about this, but I forgot to write it down anywhere. And nobody's here anyway to have the in-service, so it was never even scheduled. So I've been like busting my butt and agonizing over the slide arrangements and like the pictures and all this other stuff for no reason, not entirely for no reason, because I'm going to have to do another one. I'm going to have to do two more a day apart from each other coming up next month, so I guess it's good that I made the progress that I did. And then the other thing that didn't quite go as planned was I had my advising session for transitioning from the RN to BSN program to the RN to MSN program, which is what I originally had signed up for. I was like, wicked excited when they told me that I had that it was okay for me to switch over, even though there was a rule saying that you could not do that. But I was talking to my advisor, and we were going through my new plan of study, and all of those ridiculous core curriculum classes that are a waste of my time, I did not get out of those by switching to the RN to MS program. I still have to take those classes. So I still have to take Religious Studies 102 next session. I still have to take the Universal Human Search for Truth, Justice, and the Common Good. But I did shorten my plan of study by 5 nursing classes, which are ostensibly the ones that are going to be the most time-consuming and the most challenging. So all the rest of my classes are the same, but instead of taking the BSN classes, like the 300s level classes for Bachelor of Science, I'm going to be taking 400 level nursing classes. So when I do finish and get my BSN in like early 2013, early 2012. When I get my BSN in I forget exactly what it is, late 2012, early 2013. Anyway, when I do finish my classes to get my BSN, I'll already be halfway done with grad school or something like that. So I guess that's okay. It's not quite the leap ahead that I thought it was going to be, but it will get me there quicker and more cheaply than the path I was already on. So, I guess I'll have to call that a win. And these core curriculum classes, I'm going to be getting A's in all of them, so I guess I'll just have to suck it up and take my easy A's. My easy, expensive A's. Something like $500, $600, $700 per credit hour. It's not cheap. But that's alright. Now that I'm salaried and I'm picking up extra shifts on top of that, I'm making a pretty good chunk of change, which is a good thing because my bank account is overdrafted right now. So I could use a big chunk of change. Fortunately, I got one of these in my mailbox. One of those magical pay stubs. I get direct deposit, so it's not actually a check. And I think this is like a report of what's going to hit my bank account tomorrow. Let's see what we got here. That is not too good. That is not too good at all. Oh. The reason it's not too good is because that was from the 2-week period when I was sick for a week. So that's like half a paycheck because I get paid bi-weekly. That is really going to crimp my plans a little bit. But that's okay. Not a big deal. I've got a really low interest credit card through USAA that acts as a good buffer in lean times. And when I started going back to school for the online degree program that I'm doing, all of my student loans went back in deferment. So that's one less thing I have to worry about. Not that I have much left in student loans. I have this, it was originally $5,000 that I took out in student loans back when I went to University of Connecticut like 10, 11 years ago. And I've paid it down to like $2,000 something in that 10 years. And the holder of the debt, the debt has changed hands so many times. Like every couple of years, I get a letter from some different debt management company or whatever saying that they own my debt now. And now it's back in deferment again. By the time I start making payments on it again, I'm sure it'll be a different company. I kind of like the idea that my student debt is like some kind of toxic asset that any company that buys it is going to like fail a couple of years later. I really like that idea. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd like to pretend that it's true, for now at least. That my student debt is some kind of poison pill that no one can swallow without killing themselves. Yeah, so I was really disappointed I didn't get to do that in-service today, because I was looking forward to doing like a dry run of it. The session that was scheduled for today was only a half hour long, which was something that I was kind of scratching my head about, because I had originally conceived it as an hour-long presentation, because the one that I'm gearing up for at the core course is going to be an hour long. And then the other nursing home, the same one that I went to last time for ethical considerations and end-of-life care, where I did that in-service, they invited me back to do the pain and symptom management one, and this time they blocked me off an hour instead of a half hour. So that was really cool, because I did kind of say, I mean, you can see this in the video if you watch it, I was kind of like, oh, well, you know, it would be nice to have longer than a half hour. If I had more time, I would talk about this, this, and this, and maybe they got the message and blocked me off a larger amount of time. That one went really well. It was like really well received, and I had a really good time doing it. I was disappointed there weren't more registered nurses there, though. There will be a lot of registered nurses at the core course in a couple of weeks from now, as well as social workers, nursing students, and a number of other disciplines. I planned my day around this too. I got like this neat little flexible tripod thing. This is pretty cool. I've owned one of these in the past, but I've lost it. I tend to lose things that are about this size pretty rapidly. So I think this is maybe the third or fourth one of those that I bought in the last couple of years. And then I also bought, look at this other thing. I got an e-serial ATA cable for my external hard drive, because the USB thing, I guess it got like pulled on or something, and the USB cable doesn't work. So I got this eSATA cable, because I promised a couple of people different things off of that drive that I had squirreled away. One former bandmate of mine wanted an album that he's had trouble finding, and the executive director of my agency wanted my recordings of a previous core course that I attended when I was a new hire, that I really liked, and some of the people speaking were, heroes of mine, so I really liked that recording. So now that I got that cable, I'll be able to hook that up for them. I've got everything that I was planning on doing today got like changed around or like pawned off on somebody else. I've got this cool Huber needle here. Let me see if I can find it. Where is this thing? Make sure I don't crash into something. Where did it go? Maybe I put it back into the storage closet. Oh well. Well, anyway, it was a Huber needle, which is a non-coring needle, and it's for accessing implanted central venous ports, which is a fun procedure to do. It's even more fun if you have lidocaine jelly to do it with, but unfortunately that was not something that I was provided. But basically, you insert a needle through a thin layer of skin and into like a port that has this kind of rubber stuff over it that you puncture with the needle whenever you access it. But the needle is this special kind of needle that doesn't core the rubber, which is to say it doesn't punch out little circular holes through it, because if you do that too many times, it's gonna, you know, break down or whatever. So you have to use a special non-coring needle, also called a Huber needle. And it was for a patient that was taking a lot of, you know, oral narcotics, and you know, it was really really difficult for the family to keep up with, and just decided it would be better to get him on a continuous infusion, which is something that, you know, I visited the hospital a couple of times over the weekend, which always serves to me as a reminder of why I do not want to be in a hospital, and sympathize with other people who tell me that they do not want to be in a hospital. I would just sort of run into all of these differences in perceptions and kind of outlandish statements people would make, like, how could this person be your patient? I thought hospice was only for people with cancer. You know, this is like a person dying of like heart failure or something else like that, you know. So some of the comments I hear from other nurses blow my mind sometimes. There was this other nurse who, you know, was like really highly respected by me and a bunch of other people. I didn't know I was talking to him at first on the phone, but this patient was on a morphine drip, and they were like, well, how are you going to send him home with a morphine drip? You can't send him home on a morphine drip. And this person had never heard of Roxanol before, which is like the concentrated tincture of morphine. Well, actually, they have alcohol-free preparations of it too, so it's not really a tincture. But you know, they got concentrated sublingual morphine, and it's, you know, the pharmacy can whip it up for you relatively easily, and you know, they have it at all the local pharmacies around here. And the CAD pumps too. A lot of people don't know we can do CAD pumps. We can hook up a battery-powered pump right to an implanted port and continuously infuse morphine through it. It is not a problem. But people don't know we can do those things, so when people ask about them at the hospital, they don't always get the right info. Which makes it nice when I can come down and explain things to the family, because things are really busy over there. Nobody's got time to like sit down and talk through all the options and find out what's important to them and stuff like that. So I like being able to do that. I told the two hospital liaison nurses, because this was a holiday when I saw them during the week, I was like, hey, you know, if you guys ever need any backup for the hospitals, if you guys are out or sick or something, you need somebody else to help cover, let me know, because I thought that was really interesting to do. One of them laughed and said, come on, we still need our jobs, you know, like I was trying to take their jobs or something. Like I don't already have a ton of other stuff to do. But I really like the two hospital liaison nurses. I learn a lot from them, and they have seen and done it all. They're really, really cool nurses. Whenever whenever I have difficult questions, they're the ones I ask. Well, I'm home now. Time to loaf around and do some charting. Oh, here we are.